Feeling pretty good about, the health, what they're doing on the floor on both ends. Obviously, it's still early. We still got some things to clean up, but from where we are heading into the season, I think we're the most complete team that I've had heading into the season with knowing what we're doing on both sides of the ball. I think I'll keep repeating this over and over again. Honestly, the success in the first game would be the way that we execute what we practice. Just carrying over the little things. We always talk about that, and the guys start laughing whenever they make a play on one of the little things. They'll go, "Coach, the little things." Yeah, because the little things add up, and we can't let anything get by. So for me, defensively, it's just being in the right positions, and offensively running and sharing the basketball. No update on Chandler Lawson yet. Not well. I wouldn't be handling it well either. Transfer, you come back home, and you're not allowed to play, and you're just waiting. It's a waiting game right now, so it's not a good feeling. No, if he was given approval, he definitely would be able to play in the game. Yeah, no, it makes it a lot easier to coach when you have willing freshmen that are coming in, like you said, that are he and Amani are both 1 and 2 in the country, and their class is reclassed up. And for him to be so humble about just doing whatever it takes for us to win, and no matter what task we give him, he takes it on. And it doesn't matter if we say just block shots and rebound. You'll never touch the ball unless it's a lob. It doesn't matter to him. He just wants to win. Absolutely. I think that, he came here because he wanted to develop the outside game. He already had a nice, like a 18-footer. And, we're stretching him out to NBA range when we train him. But obviously he knows where his bread is buttered. He knows to be in the paint area. He knows why he's here. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel on doing some things that he's not accustomed to doing, just to show people that he can do them, and or show him that he can't do them right now. And for us, we're just going to keep training him behind closed doors to keep sharpening his skills, and then in the games, he's going to just do what he does. Yeah, for sure. You're ready to play. I've been ready to play this game since last year. Winning the NIT championship, and then having the entire summer going into the summer with good momentum. And then to get those two guys, along with Jonathan Lawson, Chandler Lawson, Earl Timberlake, John Camden, and Sam Onu, to get those guys in there, and then Josh Minot, you get a group like that to come in with the core that we kept. We lost some good pieces, some valuable pieces, but we gained some valuable pieces as well. So to be ready for the game instead of practicing against one another the exhibitions were good, but to have an actual game is going to be a lot better. That's something to talk about. Maybe those guys will feel like, hey, if I'm not going to play as much, maybe I redshirt. And I'm not against that, because it's better than losing a year and not getting a lot of minutes. Because I've looked at, and I've told a ton of people this story, when I looked at Villanova's back-to-back championships and I looked at their roster, it shocked me how many guys were redshirted before. Redshirt seniors, redshirt juniors, redshirt sophomores, and 3 of those 4 or 4 of those 5 are in the NBA. So it gives you that extra year. You can practice with the team, you can travel, you can do everything else. You're just not going to play in the games, and it gives you an opportunity to see the conference and to see how it works. Yeah, they both could come back because they got the season back this year. Would they come back? I don't know, especially DeAndre. I don't know about Alo, but they definitely could come back the following year. I have not. I'm kind of still adjusting, seeing what the chemistry is like. The team that we put out there is going to be the best team that we feel like chemistry-wise to start us off. I want to see us protect the ball. We're turning teams over, at a high rate, but we're not protecting the ball. And I think that's a lot of playing 13, 14, 15, sometimes 16 guys in those 2 games, and everybody handling the ball, and everybody's not really capable of doing what they were doing. You get some careless turnovers. But for me, to protect the ball, also to keep sharing. Once the regular season starts, it's a new ball game. Who's going to still want to share the basketball instead of trying to get a point per game average? Is it going to be about them, or is it going to be about the team? And then defensively, our schemes, just making people feel uncomfortable. Can every guy that gets on the floor put that type of pressure on the other side to get them sped up and then to put us into the defensive schemes that we want to play out of? No, it's really weird, and I want to say this really quickly. First year, I inherit Coach Tubby's team. Second year, James Wiseman can't play. DJ Jeffries gets hurt for a majority of the season, and Lester Quinones gets hurt. The next year, we have so much going on with COVID. The guys trying to mesh. We didn't have a preseason anything, and then when we got thrown right into it, and then DeAndre Williams going to play the first 7 games. So I don't feel like this staff has really had a good shot at really getting off to a great start. It just hasn't gotten the best start. So for us, the way that they disrespect our conference, it's so important for us to get off to a great start. We feel like we have a great conference, but the way that they look at us, any team in our conference that loses 1 game usually drops 7, 8, 9 spots. Houston has been able to sustain because they respect their culture. But for us, we know if we're going to be ranked, we have to win. because if we lose one game, then they're going to drop us, by a long shot. So for us, it's very important for us to stay locked in on that. Well, I think that it's been unfortunate, the things that have happened to us, with James and DJ and Lester, obviously James leaving. And then last year, with DeAndre not being able to start off really hurt us because he was a huge part of what we had to do. And the chemistry was like way off early. So for me, I'm going to be my own biggest critic. For me, I have to prove to myself with having this roster healthy that, I can go and do what I feel like I set out to do when I came here, and that's win and win big. Yeah, it's a victory. You look at it yesterday as just the start of something. You won a championship, and we could talk about it all day long, but at the end of the day, we won our last game of the season and ended as champions. So that says a lot about this core. I can say, hey, you guys are champions because they are. Now we carry that momentum into the season and just ride that wave. Yeah, I wanted him all along from day one, and for various reasons. It just couldn't happen, and I just thank God for allowing it to happen now. But what he brings to the table is, there's no worth on that because of his knowledge. And he helps me every single day, whether it's a drill or whether it's a certain way to play, a different action, or even bringing different actions to the team that can really help get more flow with the offense and ball movement. And defensively, he's a mastermind as well, and it's just bouncing things off of him all day and asking him questions, and then him talking to me about different conversations with Coach Smith. He always refers to Coach Smith about everything that he does, and it's just to have that book of knowledge, that wealth of knowledge around me all the time is priceless. No, usually I'm 99.9% going to say, okay, Coach, we're going to go with that. But if I have a feeling on something, then I'm going to say, hey, Coach, this is what I'm going to go with, and then he's okay with that. But, usually I'm going with because we think alike. We have the same values when it comes to basketball, and that's sharing the basketball on the offensive end and defensively loading up and playing, shrinking the court. So it's not like I'm far off from his beliefs and his thinking. So when we talk, pretty much the same type of, thinking when it comes to what we want to do. No, I think when we play them on Tuesday, it's going to be about us. We can only judge ourselves. I mean, that's why they have the stats, around the country, personally and around the country on who's the best in different stats. We want to be the fastest team offensively, and we want to be the best team in the country defensively. So we've been able to do that defensively. We haven't been able to do that offensively. We were 6th in pace last year, trying to get that to 1 on both sides. And I think that's a tough feat, but it's definitely doable. You know what? I haven't even thought about it. I really haven't. I've just been locked in so hard on this team and wanting to win that what's been going on with the NCAA hadn't even really crossed my mind. I can honestly say that because we're just pushing forward. There's nothing that we can do about, what the NCAA has or whatever. They have it, and whatever they're going to do. So I can only worry about my team and just keep pushing forward. I mean, obviously, you'd rather it be after the season if it's going to be any kind of decision so it doesn't disrupt what we have. But if it happens, we just have to deal with it, whatever the outcomes are. That they're very disciplined and well coached. Obviously, Coach Pelfrey he comes from a great tree of coaches, and he was a good player himself. And then to understand what they bring to the table, and that's just basically like exactly what we want. Me and Coach were talking about it because it's Coach Brown's scout. They have this triangle that we want to be in every single time, where they're just really shrinking the court. They're big, show really hard on the screens, which we want our guys to do. It's almost like it's a mirror image of where we want to be with our team. And he's done an unbelievable job because we saw them play in a scrimmage, and they do exactly what we want. Their guards are good, and they have a really good big. So they're going to pose problems because they're going to mix it up on us. And their offense, they get the ball side to side to try to loosen you up. And if you're not disciplined, they'll take advantage of your mistakes. The biggest thing about DeAndre right now is we're telling him to sacrifice early to get the ball going from one side to the other and not make it be about him. And to his credit, he has not cried or moaned or complained or anything about it. But I'm not dumb enough not to know that he is a guy that needs the ball in his hands. He does. And we need to have him take advantage of those bigs because he's faster, he's more athletic, and he's almost like a guard playing the big spot. So we're going to find spots to get him the ball so he can be more electric offensively. But for the 2 preseason games, he really just sacrificed, set great screens, ran the floor, and just did what he had to do.